Well, hello, Bob.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
I'm very good. We're here with Bob Brite, CTS alum, class of...
77 to 80, so I graduated in 80.
Wow. And from what I've heard from alumni this week, the 70s at CTS were a wonderful time. Oh, we're going to have to turn your mic up here. It's falling down on your lapel. Let me get it on the other side of your lapel for you there. Maybe this one.
Up a little closer.
It was just that it flopped down. It started that direction.
If you go on this side, it might go here. Let me go right here. That should be better.
Okay, does that work? Testing 1, 2, 3, 5.
Do that again.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay.
All right.
So, yeah, the 70s was very significant in a lot of ways. We went through some very tough times economically. I think I came into college at Indiana University in the midst of the Arab oil crisis, and then I think there was a recession as well in 77 or 78. T.J. Liggett was president, and great man in a lot of ways. So I was vice president of the student body my second year. I was a faculty scholar. I was a teaching assistant under Lester McAllister in church history. I was involved in the theater quite a bit.
This is the Edivian Theater, right?
Yeah, Al Edivine, and did work study my last year there, doing tech, built sets, props, and sets, props, and did lights and sound, and was performed. Probably my highest highlight in CTS was a weekend where we had an all church, all community retreat with Henry Nouwen.
Wow.
And that was the same week that a production of Godspell opened at the theater, and I played in the orchestra in that, played guitar in that. So that weekend was just, a high. The guy that played Jesus in that production is Richard Ward, who went on to become the Fred Craddock Professor of Preaching at Phillips Seminary. He just retired a couple of years ago.
Wow.
So seminary was enriching. It was powerful. It was a good time. It was exhausting. I did a 4-year program in 3 years. Silly me. Did that with college too. It's just really stupid of me to rush through things. But the seminary experience was definitely a highlight of my life.
Now, what we've heard from some of your fellow alumni, and I'm alum from 17 as well, the relationships that you take forward. We've had so many people come by and chat, and the people you went to seminary with, what was it like to have those friendships and those supports, and do you still have any of them now?
A couple. With Richard, Dr. Ward, he retired to Denver, so he and I do breakfast every once in a while. Rick Walters and Lori Hafner, who are part of the UCC. In fact, Rick is an attorney and a clergy who runs their corporate responsibility office for the UCC. Lori is and I was best man at their wedding. Lori is big time pastor in Coral Gables, Florida. Those are the three primary ones. Occasionally see some other alumni here and there. I bumped into Norman Reed down here not too long ago. Dave St. John, who's not here this time, was my roommate. Stuff like that. Yeah. There were 4 or 5 very prominent relationships.
And your roommate, did you live on campus at CTS?
I lived on Clarendon Place, which was the house. They had not built the apartments across from the seminary when I was there. So we lived in a little dumpy duplex down on Clarendon Place.
Okay.
I understand most of those have been sold to private ownership.
Well, the building, I know we just spoke with an alum who graduated in 69, and they were moving over from the previous location to the new building at that time. So when you were there, the building was pretty new, right? Yes.
Yeah, it was around 10 years old. I know they converted from the Butler School of Religion to CTS. I think that was in the early 60s under Dr. Shelton. But yeah, when I was there, pretty much in the groove, incredible professors. Jerry, I still talk to Jerry Jansen every once in a while. God bless his research heart. It's keeping him alive, you know. Clark Williamson was one of the most intimidating people that I've ever met, and yet he and I also were friends. And he and my stepfather were friends, and so, you know, would have dinner with him every once in a while. Those two primary ones, I sang in the choir. A little bit of everything, you know. I was very involved in the seminary community.
Do you have any fun memories of campus life or shenanigans from your time on campus?
Shenanigans. The end of the year clergy or student faculty softball game, where I was the umpire and called Clark Williamson out on strikes.
So the faculty played against the students.
Yes.
Was it right there on the green?
It was not in the middle, but it was off the cafeteria in that field. So yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. The theater stuff, I did 2 summers that we had a theater troupe that went up and performed 5 shows a week, 5 different shows a week at a big Methodist camp up at Lake Webster. And did that, played Sancho in Man of La Mancha, you know. So yeah, just, you know, lots of fun stuff like that.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by. And I know you are a super disciple, so to speak. You are CTS alum.
CTS alum.
Brite alum.
And I'm not a Brite alum, it's just my last name is Brite.
Oh, so...
Although I did apply for jobs there. You know.
They didn't name the school after you?
No, that's cousin Lucas's fault.
Okay.
Lucas Brite was a big-time rancher he lived in Brite, Texas. The town, the little thing was named after him. And he developed a method for inseminating cattle that made him a ton of money. And he gave the money to found the Brite Brite College of the Bible. They didn't call it Brite because he didn't like that, but when he went on, they changed the name to Brite Divinity School, or Brite College of the Bible.
Now, is he a distant cousin of some sort?
Probably back in jolly old England, because I've traced the family roots for him to Virginia and to me to South Carolina. But it's an English name, so it probably somewhere back there. There are Brites in England I've traced back to the 14th century. So
wow.
So at any rate.
Well, we know your history with CTS doesn't go back quite that far,
Thank God.
But we do appreciate sharing the stories
and enjoy. I enjoy. When I'm back here, I attended alumni events when it was convenient for me to do so. When I was a little closer, I'm now in Colorado, so the commute's a little rough.
Commute's a little rough. You've got good surroundings out there.
Yeah. So when you see Jerry Jansen, tell him Bob Brite says hi.
We will do, and we'll look for pictures of that softball game. I've seen a few here and there, and if I see one of you calling Clark Williamson out, I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, that last pitch was a little low, but I went in and called him out anyway.
Well,
and he gave me the dirtiest look.
That is too good. Too good.
So, it's okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Blessings
Have a wonderful
on you.
General Assembly.
Thank you.